The materials that we're going to need to create our basic granny square is some acrylic yarn. I've chosen the Women's Institute Premium Acrylic Yarn in a double knit, and it's recommending a 4mm crochet hook. So I have the corresponding crochet hook here, along with a darning needle and just a pair of scissors to snip the ends as we go along. So to start making our basic granny square, we're going to be starting by creating a slip knot. With your tail yarn in your left hand, we're just going to bring the right hand over to create a loop, drop that working yarn behind, reach through, pull the working yarn through and just tighten. We're just going to pop that loop on our hook, and when we pull on our working yarn, that will tighten and stay firm on our hook. So we begin the pattern by chaining 4. So we yarn over the hook and bring that loop through our hook, yarn over, pull through for a chain for the second chain, yarn over, pull through, that's number 3, and then yarn over, pull through, and that's our chain 4. What we're going to be doing is slip stitching into that first chain that we made back at the beginning where our slip knot is. So just pop your hook underneath that top loop of your chain. We're going to yarn over, bring that hook back through, and we're going to bring this loop straight through that loop on our hook. And that's a slip stitch. And that's created a ring. If you take a moment and just pull it apart a little bit, you'll see that a hole forms in the middle and there's another hole just above. The hole above is the one you created when you did your slip stitch, and we're going to be working into this middle ring here. So the next step to start round 1 is we chain 3. So yarn over the hook, pull through, yarn over the hook, pull through, yarn over the hook and pull through, and there is our chain 3. Once again, just locate that. We're going to work right into that hole where my right hand thumb is, so right in there. So yarn over the hook first, because we're going to do a UK treble crochet into this ring that we've made. So insert your hook into that bottom loop that little bottom ring that we've made there. Insert your hook into there, yarn over, bring your hook back through, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again to pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. So that's a treble crochet into that middle ring. You should see that that ring gets a little bit bigger. As we work around it, keep your working yarn against the side of the ring that we've made if you can. So we're going to make a second treble crochet into that middle ring there. So yarn over the hook, insert your hook into the middle of that ring, yarn over and bring a loop up. We'll have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and bring your hook through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and once again bring your hook through those last 2 loops on your hook. You should have something that looks a little bit like that. And this is the first block we've made of our granny square. So from here we're going to chain 2. So we yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have a chain of 2. And once again, we're going to work into the middle of that ring again, just holding that tail yarn against the side and working around that at the same time if we can. So we're going to do 3 trebles into the middle of here. So yarn over, insert your hook into that same ring that we've just been working into, yarn over, bring that loop up, you'll have your 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through your first 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through your next 2 loops. We're going to make a second treble into that same ring, so yarn over and insert your hook back into this ring that we've already worked into, yarn over, bring a 3rd loop up, yarn over to pull through those first 2 loops and yarn over to pull through the next 2 loops. So ignoring this hole here, we're still working into that middle hole there. We're going to create a third treble into the center of that ring. So yarn over and insert your hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. So now we've made a second block in our granny square. We're going to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We're going to create the third block of our square. So again, we're going to work into that center. We're going to do 3 more treble crochets into this hole here. So yarn over, bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. We just created another hole. We're still working into this one here where we originally started. So yarn over to do that second treble crochet, bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops, and then the third treble crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into that center ring, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over to pull through those last 2 loops. So we have the beginnings of a square. We're just going to do another chain 2. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we're going to work into this center once again, doing 3 more treble crochets. So yarn over and insert your hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So it looks like we're almost running out of space here, but what we can do is just pull down and move our stitches around a bit, and it gives us a little bit more shape to our square actually as well, but it gives us that little bit more space to work. So we've done 1 treble crochet here. We're going to yarn over and insert our hook back into the center of the ring, yarn over to bring a loop up, pull through those first 2 loops, and yarn over to pull through those last 2 loops. Do 1 final treble crochet into that center of the ring, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. So to end round 1, we're going to do a final chain 2. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3 that we made. So just insert your hook underneath the top loop and the back loop of the chain that you made. Oops. I always find this bit a little bit fiddly. Just kind of push it through, and then once you've done that, yarn over, bring that loop through, and then straight through the loop on your hook, and it should almost resemble a little tiny mini square. You can move your stitches around because you've worked around the middle of that ring, and it should look a little bit like that. So what we have are we've got 4 blocks that are made up of 3 trebles and a chain 2, and we've created 4 corners. What we're going to be doing is working over into this next corner here. So to start round 2, we're going to get our hook over to this corner here, and to do that we're going to slip stitch into the top of each of these treble crochets that we've made. So here's the first treble crochet that we've made, and we need to go under that stitch there, underneath both loops of the stitch, yarn over, bring that loop through, and then through again, and then under the next stitch, through both loops, yarn over and straight through the loop on your hook, and then we're just going to slip stitch into this corner space here. So you can identify your corners because you'll have 2 blocks effectively in the same space. Now that we've slip stitched our way to the corner, we're going to start round 2 with a chain 3. So yarn over the hook, bring it back through 3 times to create that chain 3. And this counts as our first treble crochet in this corner space. We're going to yarn over and do a further 2, bring that loop up, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Do our second one, so yarn over, insert the hook again into that same corner space, pull through 2, pull through 2. So to create the corner space for us to use on the next round, we're going to chain 2. And then to finish this corner block, we're going to do a further 3 treble crochets. So yarn over the hook, go back into that same space you were just working in, do a second treble crochet by yarning over the hook, inserting, bring that loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do a third treble crochet, so yarn over, insert the hook, bring that loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've just created our first corner block in round 2, and it should look a little bit like that. So you've worked into this corner space and you've created the next corner space above as well. So as you can see, to get to the next corner that we need to work into, there is a block here we need to work across. So when we're moving across one block, we just need to yarn over and chain 1. If we chain more than that, our square won't be a square. So we're then going to work into this next corner space. You can see it's a corner because there are 2 blocks going into one space. So we start by yarning over, and we're going to complete 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. So yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those next 2 loops, yarn over again, and we're working into that same space we've just worked into. And you can tell by just following your hook down that stitch you've just made, we're going back into that same corner space. So yarn over, bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over the hook and insert again into that same space, yarn over to bring a loop up, pull through those first 2 loops, pull through those next 2 loops. So that's one half of our corner block, just sorting out my twiddly yarn here, there we are. So we need to create that corner space that we did over there. So we just yarn over and chain 2. And we're going to work back into this same corner space again. So we yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do another treble crochet into this same corner space, yarn over the hook, insert it once again, yarn over to bring that loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. So we need to make a third treble crochet again into that same corner space, yarn over the hook, insert your hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. So we've just created another corner space. We've got 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. We need to get over to that next corner space there, so we need to cross a block or advance across this block here. So we just need to yarn over and chain 1, and then we can work into this next corner space here. So we're going to do a further 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles all into this space here. So yarn over the hook and insert into that next corner space, yarn over to bring a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, do a second treble crochet into that same corner space and a third, we're going to need to create that corner space again, so we yarn over and chain 2. And we're going to work directly back into that corner space once again. So yarn over the hook, insert into the same corner space, and do a further 3 treble crochets into that same corner space. Do a third one. So we've created another corner space. You can see that our square is starting to get a bit bigger. So once again, we have another block we need to move across. So to do that, we simply chain 1, and then we've reached another corner space. We've got those 2 bits with a hole in the middle. So we're going to do 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. So yarn over and insert your hook into that next corner space. Bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, do a second treble crochet, yarn over, do a third treble crochet. We then need to add the chain, so we chain 2 to create the next corner space, and we're going to work directly into that same space again. So if you ever put your work down, just follow your hook down to which hole you're working into so you can see where you need to insert your hook. So we're going to yarn over and into that same chain space there. Going to yarn over, bring that loop up. Ooh, pull everything out of the way. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Back into this same space again. Yarn over, insert the hook, bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then a final treble crochet into this same corner space. Yarn over the hook, insert your hook, draw that loop up. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So we now have 1, 2, 3 and 4 corners made, but we still have to get across this block here before we can slip stitch. So to do that, we simply chain 1, and then we can slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 we made at the beginning of the round. So once again, look for that top loop of your chain and try and grab the top loop and the back loop. If I can show you the back loop of the chain there, and just literally push your hook through. I'm going to encourage it on. Oh, where's it gone? Always find this the fiddliest bit. There we go. And just slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and straight through that loop on your hook. And that completes round 2. So we have even more of a square That's running away from itself. So far on this round, we started with our chain 3. We did 2 further trebles and a chain 2 and a 3 further trebles to create a next corner. To get across that next block, we just chained 1, and then we made another corner block. So we trebled 3, chain 2, treble 3. We did chain 1 to move across this block here, a further 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles. To get across this block here, we chained 1, and we finished the round with 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles. To finally get across that last block here, we chained 1 and then slip stitched back into the top of that chain 3. So to start round 3, we're going to slip stitch across these 2 stitches to bring our hook into the next corner. So underneath the top of that next treble, we just yarn over, pull through and straight through the loop on our hook. Again at the top of that next treble, underneath both loops of the stitch, and just slip stitch, and then finally slip stitch into the corner to allow our hook to be in the right place. So we're now in between 2 blocks, so we're in a corner space. We're going to start round 3 by chaining 3, which counts as a treble crochet. So we're going to continue by adding in another 2 treble crochets into this corner space. That's 1, 2. So that's 1 block of our corner. Just going to move that down a bit. We're going to then chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to work into the same corner space again. So yarn over the hook and insert your hook into the same space, creating 3 further treble crochets. So once you've done those 3 treble crochets, you will have created your first corner block, and you've got your chain space or your corner space there ready for your next round as well. So we need to advance across this next block here before we can work into the next space we've created. So we simply chain 1 to move across 1 block. In this next hole, we're going to put in 3 treble crochets. So yarn over the hook, bring the loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, do a further 2 treble crochets into this same space here. Number 3. So we have 3 treble crochets in this space. We need to move across this block here before we can work into our corner block. So we simply chain 1 to move across 1 block, and then we're going to work into this corner space here. So we're going to do 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. So we start by yarning over and inserting our hook into that corner space. Yarn over, bring a loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2. We're going to work a further 2 treble crochets into this corner space. We're going to create the corner space for this corner by chaining 2, and then we're going to work into the same space again with a further 3 treble crochets for the last part of this corner block. And number 3. There we go. So we've created a whole side and 2 corners so far. We need to progress over this block here by simply chaining 1, and then we can work into this hole here. So this is not a corner because the corner's there. We can see that it's a bit more pointy. We're going to work just 3 treble crochets into this space. That's number 2, number 3, all in the same chain space. We need to move across this block here so we can work into this corner space. So we simply chain 1, and then we're going to create another corner on top of this. So we do 3 trebles, 3 chains, and 2 chains and 3 trebles. So that's number 1, number 2, and number 3, all into the same corner space. Create the corner space again for the next round by chaining 2, and then we're going to work into the same corner space again with 3 further treble crochets. 1, 2, and 3. There's another corner space made. We've only got this side left to do. So to move across that 1 block, we simply chain 1, and then we're going to work 3 treble crochets into this next space. So yarn over the hook and insert. So 1, into the same space again, number 2, and number 3 again into that same space. To work into the corner, we need to go across this next block here. So we simply chain 1, and then we're going to create another corner. So we 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles, all into that corner space there. So yarn over and insert the hook, bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, the second treble, and the third, we then chain 2, and we're going to work into this same corner space again. So just insert the hook into there, to do 3 further treble crochets. That's another corner made. So we need to move across this block so we can work into this space here. So just by working across here, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to place 3 treble crochets into that next hole. Number 3. And then to finish this round, we need to move across this block and then slip stitch in. It's always important to remember this last chain 1 so that you can slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. Pop that on, pull through and pull straight through to slip stitch, and that finishes round 4. Got a bit of a square going on there. Pull it about a bit and it will look even more square. So that's the end of round 3. So to start round 4, we're going to slip stitch across the top of these 2 treble crochets. So inserting your hook under both loops of that stitch. I'm going to slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into that corner space. And we're ready to start the round. So you can kind of see that the pattern forming when it comes to our basic granny squares. You have a corner block which is made up of those 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. To advance across each block, you simply chain 1. So we're going to start this corner space with our chain 3, which it works as our first treble in this corner space. So we yarn over and do a further 2 trebles. We chain 2 and do a further 3 trebles into the same corner space. Number 3. That's our corner space created. To move across this one block, we simply chain 1. And then we're going to place 3 trebles into that next space. Chain 1 to move across that one block there. And then we're going to work into this next space with just 3 trebles. Same space again. Remember that if you ever lose track of which space you're working into, just follow the line down from your hook and it will show you which space to work into. Let's do number 3. We need to move across this one block, so we chain 1 and we've reached another corner space. So we need to do 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles to create the next corner space. So yarn over and insert your hook into this corner space again, completing a further 3 treble crochets. We've done 3 treble crochets. We then need to chain 2, yarn over and insert the hook, and do a further 3 treble crochets. Making sure you go back into that same corner space at each time. So we've created another corner there. We're then going to step across this block here by just chaining 1 and place a further 3 trebles into that next space. working into the same chain space again, doing a further 2 treble crochets. So we have 3 treble crochets into that chain space. Moving across this block, we simply chain 1, working into this next chain space here. We're going to do a further 3 treble crochets into that next chain space. Ooh, remember to yarn over before you insert your hook. Again, we need to go over this one block here before we work into that corner space. So we chain 1, and then we've reached that next corner space. So it's 3 trebles in each corner space, 2 chains, and then a further 3 trebles. And that helps us to turn the corner as well. The chain 2 gives us a nice space to work into. Now going back into that same corner space again to do those last 3 trebles in that corner. Number 3. And then we have another corner space created. We need to step across this one block here by simply chaining 1. We're then going to work into that next chain space with 3 treble crochets. Again, step across that next block with just 1 chain, and then we're placing another 3 treble crochets into that next chain space. We need to step across this block here before we work into that next corner space with a chain 1. We've reached that next corner space and we're going to do 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. So there's our 3 trebles. We're then going to chain 2 and working into that same corner space just by following your hook, the line of your hook down. Insert that hook and yarn over to do 3 further treble crochets. So 1, 2, do number 3. And that's another corner space made. We're nearly there. We're going to step over, so just do a chain 1 to get across that block, and then we're working into this chain space here. Going to yarn over and insert the hook to do 3 treble crochets. Some more yarn out of my ball, there we are. So 2 further treble crochets into that same chain space. So that's 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 to step over that next block. Yarn over and insert your hook into this final block here. And the final treble crochet there. Remembering we need to get across this block with a chain 1, and then we can slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that we'd created at the start of the round. Oh, without catching all the wool, of course. There we go. And then I'm just going to slip stitch across into that final corner to fasten off. It'll be nicer to weave my ends in there. So that will end. There we are. And just do a little chain 1, and I'm just going to find my scissors and just snip that there, and then just bring that loop through, give it a little tug, and there we have our basic granny square. We need to weave these ends in, and for me the easiest way of doing that, flip it over so you can see the wrong side, and I'm just going to go pop the end onto my needle and just go in and under a few of these stitches here, all the way around, without pulling it too tight because it will close the hole, and we want that hole there. It will just prevent your ends from falling out as well. Once you've gone around that a few times, you can simply just snip that end off. There we go. Get rid of that one. And then we're going to weave this end in as well. If you are planning on making a blanket or something like that out of your granny squares, I would recommend you do this as you go, because when you're left with 100 or so squares to weave in the ends on, you're not going to want to do it because it does take a little bit of time. But I think as you go along and do them, when you're finishing off each round and finishing off each granny square, it just means there is a little bit less work to do. And then a final time. I always like to weave in and out 3 times because then you'll never see your ends again, so to speak. There we go. Oh. We'll just snip that one as well. And there you have your basic granny square. And of course you can change colours as you make your granny squares and make them more interesting. And then when you come to place them, it all gets a bit more fun. But that is your basic granny square. Let me know how you've gotten on, and I can't wait to see your finished projects, if it's going to be a blanket or maybe a cushion cover. There's so many different things you can use granny squares for. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in one of our other video tutorials.